In today's video, I want to expand slightly on what I talked about yesterday and how once you find out about yourself, life's much easier. And I was thinking back to reading a book a long time ago by a guy called Viktor Frankl. And he was a prisoner of war back in World War II. And he saw unseen horrors in the prison camps. And he put forward this idea that our primary search in life isn't for success and joy and all that sort of thing, but it was about finding out what our purpose is in life. And I've talked about this before, and I think purpose is one of the main things that we all really lack for a great extent of the time. I always thought that my role in life was to be a business owner and be quite successful, enjoy some of the fripperies of life, like most people do. And as I said yesterday in the video, it took me until at least my mid-50s before I started to feel comfortable by myself, or with myself rather. One of the main reasons for that was that I didn't really know what I wanted. I laugh and I joke about, I still don't know what I want, but I'll know when I grow up. But the truth of the matter is, I didn't know what I wanted. It took me to having a lump found on my kidney and having to go to hospital and having to go through, 11, 12 days or something when I didn't know what this lump was. And during that time, I was really worried about what future I had. The things that I thought about at the time were things like, will I see Christmas this year? Because it was December when I found this out. Will I see Christmas? I wonder if I'll reach my next birthday. I wonder how many times I'm going to see my boys again before I go. It was things like that. And the one thing that I realised during that time was that the things that I thought important didn't actually get thought about once. I couldn't care less about business and how much money I had in the bank. When it came to it, the things that were important to me weren't things that I'd kind of thought that life was about. And they were the intangibles, if you like, the things that meant more to me. And the reason I didn't know where I wanted to be at that time was because I didn't know what was important to me. But once I'd had this illness and I spent the month of December going through the agonies and worries of what was happening and how much longer I had in this life, I had the operation and I had 3 months recovery. And in those 3 months, I started to put into place the things that I wanted out of life. It's funny, none of them involved the things that I always thought I wanted. Now, don't get me wrong, I still tried to start 2 new businesses during the next 5 years, but they weren't what's important. I didn't know what my purpose was. And I suppose my question to you is, do you really know what your purpose in life is? Do you know what it is that's the most important to you? I think we all get took along on this thing that society judges us all by, as to whether you've got a nice car, do you own your own house, have you got a good job, where are you in life, what holidays do you go on, all those things that we hear people talk about all the time. And yet, when push comes to shove, none of that was important to me. The reason for this channel came about because of the thinking that actually, what was my purpose on this earth? I suppose I thought that perhaps my role in life was to pass on the lessons, the wisdom that I'd gained through life to my two sons to help them on their way. And that's how this channel started. And I've talked about this before. Don't get me wrong, I don't think I'm anything special, but I do think that what I can do is share some of the experiences of my life and some of the thinking that I've picked up along the way. What you have to do in your life. Now, I'm not saying that you'll be like me and want to do the same things as I do, but I think there's a time when you start to feel lost sometimes and don't know what you're doing it all for, why your life isn't turning out the way you wanted it to. But the problem is, if you don't know what you wanted to start off with, then it's pretty hard to figure it all out. Now, I'm not saying that there is anything wrong with wanting a nice home and wanting the cars and the holidays and the friends and the fashion and all that sort of thing. There is nothing wrong with wanting all that. And there are a lot of people who chase the dreams and goals that everyone is expected to chase, who still feel lost at the end of the day. I think it's really important, that you find what it is for you. The problems we get is that we get carried away on a wave of doing the norm, of trying to do the things that everyone expects you to do. But it seems to me that the people who are happiest in their lives are those that have found their purpose, found what it is they want to do. I talk often about people who volunteer for charities and things like that, and how they get a lot out of helping somebody else. And I think we all do that. If you do something to help somebody, it kind of leaves you with a warm glow. For a lot of people, that's what does it, that warm glow. The question you have to ask yourself if you're feeling a bit lost in this world is, what's my warm glow? What brings that on? There's something out there, for everybody. But I think it's easy to get caught up with the thinking of what you feel you ought to do, not what you really want to do. So my suggestion to you is this: if you're feeling a bit lost in the world, that you don't feel like everything you're doing is meaningful, that you're not enjoying your life as much as going through the motions of it, then I think what you have to do is take some time, just step back and think what it is you'd really like to do with your life. Think about all the things you like, all the things you want to do, and you'll find that you'll say, oh, I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that. But when you slowly think about it, it may be not what you want after all. But it's only through going through the process that you find what's right for you. You may believe the norm is the way that's right. You have to do what makes you feel happy. You have to do what makes you feel fulfilled. And if you can do that, I think you got it sussed. Because Viktor Frankl was right, that man's search for meaning is about your purpose and what your place in this world is. You may never be someone rich and famous, but really, who cares? As long as at the end of it all, you've done what you feel you wanted to do, and you feel contented with your lot. And that, to me, is it. If you feel contented at the end of the day, if you're doing something that you feel is worthwhile, that gives you a sense of well-being, then I think you've got it sussed. That's it from me. Day 11. If you look over there, there'll be another video to watch. And I'll be back tomorrow, doing it all again. I'll see ya.